Hello and welcome to the JTrain podcast. I'm Jared Freid, coming to you live from the West Village of Manhattan. It is a Chit Chat Wednesday, and we have two very special guests. I was reached out to by an account on Instagram called Katherine Wants. I'm looking at it. It is a cooking account with a couple, and it's Katherine Wants and Randy Makes. And that's the whole premise. And Randy's a chef, and Katherine is his wife, and it's their love story intertwined with what he's made for her over the years. And I think that's a beautiful thing, and it combines two things that I like to talk about, food and dating. So we have a great conversation about what to make for date night, drinks to have at the house. Randy kind of gives us some stuff that a chef could only give us, and he talks about the breakfast he made for her. It's just a fun episode. The only reason I didn't even know who they were, but they seem like nice people, and it seemed like an opportunity to talk about subjects that I like to talk about. So enjoy today's episode. Enjoy Katherine and Randy, who were wonderful. They come to us from Canada, and share it with a friend that might be looking to cook and date. Welcome to the new JTrain podcast. Hello and welcome to the JTrain podcast. This is JTrain, Jared Freid, coming to you live from the West Village of Manhattan. That's right, it's a Chit Chat Wednesday. Every Wednesday I talk to a friend, a comedian, an expert. Today, I am very lucky to have two experts. They are the co-authors of a new cookbook that is out right now. You can go and purchase it, and you should. In the description of this episode, we have the Amazon link for you to buy right now. It's called Katherine Wants, Randy Cooks, the Ultimate Date Night Cookbook. Katherine and Randy, thank you for coming on the JTrain podcast. Good to see you guys.
Thanks for having us. That wasn't even bad.
Look at you guys. You're the king and queen of cute right now. Wow. Talking at the same time. I mean, where are you coming from? You're in a beautiful kitchen if you're watching on YouTube. This is like right out of a Nora Ephron movie. What's going on?
Yeah, we're in our kitchen at home. We're in Barrie, Ontario, just north of Toronto.
So we are in Canada, and how do we start this thing? How do we start Katherine Wants, Randy Cooks? How does it all begin?
Oh, it depends how far you really want to go back and how much you want to go on Chit Chat Wednesdays.
I want it all. I mean, I know a little bit top level. I mean, it seems like the premise of your Instagram account was Katherine wants something, and Randy put it together, and then this has become a part of your love story, and you guys seem to have, a growing family and all that good stuff, and food seems to be a part of it. I love the premise of a book that includes dating and food. Those are two things that are a big part of my life and a lot of the listeners and viewers here on YouTube. So I don't know, how does it all start? How do you guys, does Katherine just sit there and say, make me a burger? And you're like, okay. Well, you're like, this is an Instagram account?
Yeah, well, we're all in relationships and we know how it goes, right? And we can keep our partners well fed. Normally there's less arguments and things run a little bit smoother. So that is the premise of Katherine Wants. It's keeping her happy. It all started a very long time ago. Katherine worked at a restaurant that I was the chef and owner of. And she applied to be a bartender. Needless to say, she got the job. And we had a little fling, but, it didn't work out because we were both young and dumb. Katherine might have been dumber.
Hold on. So this is like a TV show. This is already this is like a weekly hour dramedy that's, the will they, won't they. So you own the restaurant. You hire Katherine as the bartender. Explain the fling. I mean, that's like a big part of like stuff I get sent to me all the time.
Oh. Well, it's a typical cook in front of house thing. I mean, that's what happens in restaurants. I don't know if you've ever worked in any of them, but you're there so much that you kind of have to date in that pool because your life is the restaurant.
Right. And Katherine, what you go to work at this restaurant? I mean, is the chef thing a thing? Like, with the bear, is like that's like there's something to that. There's a performance. Yeah. There's a head of the ship type of thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's this like authoritarian thing, like he's yelling at you not to touch the plates till he calls the pivots and anyways, but Randy is still, but was very, very handsome, long hair, headband, like just rough and gruff and
Sweaty.
So it starts as this
But
hot. So it starts as this hot situationship type of thing, and and what brings you back together? Like, how does that happen?
So there was like a period of 13 years where we didn't really talk. Randy got married, had a kid. I got married. And then like 13 years later, we find ourselves both going through divorces at the exact same time. We live literally down the street from each other. And I knew he was divorced, so I sort of slid into his DMs, and next thing you know, I'm moving my houseplants up the street on skateboards, and here we are.
I love the story because it's a little messy, and I think a lot of people, they go, why isn't it happening perfect for me? That's not how life isn't perfect. This is the real way things get together. So now you're married now?
Now we're married. We have 2 daughters. We just had our second daughter, Romy, 3 months ago, and Libby is 3.5. And then we have Cash, Randy's son from his first marriage.
Well, congratulations on the new baby. Now, how does the account start? How do you guys, you even said, like, I was looking at your stuff and like, you're like, thank you to the audience. 4 years ago, all these Instagram accounts start on an idea and you're like having fun and then it becomes a business somehow. Like, I know how that works. Like I yell at The Bachelor, while it's on TV and people started tuning in and I'm like, I guess this is my own show now, So how does it start?
So we were Instagramming a lot and just showing off our newfound love. And the thing is with us and the food, everyone keeps asking for recipes. Oh, we want recipes. Give us recipes. And like, we don't want to give you recipes. We just want to.
COVID, remember?
Yeah. So we were going hard. And
this was during COVID?
We don't want to give you recipes because that's hard work. And cooks hate writing that stuff down. So then we made the conscious decision. It was because of the demand. We're like, okay, we're going to start a page. And we're going to try to go after YouTube here. And we'll share our recipes and we'll share the dishes. And I think people are going to like this.
Why do chefs get annoyed at being asked for recipes?
It's the opposite. It's like, chefs usually aren't very good in school, and that's why they go into kitchens and they work those grueling hours because they're good with their hands and their mouths. And and we just hate the homework, right? And so to do the homework, it's like, that's not the fun part. It's like,
Right. I guess would it be that like a recipe kind of like boils you down to something that's like mathematical and it's more, there's an art to it that, you have signature ways that you do things and a recipe kind of like extracts all the personality from it? Is it
It's
that?
a straitjacket. And, and then people will call us out on it online too. Like, you did it this way like 6 months ago. It's like, yeah, it was 6 months ago and that was a Tuesday and today's Friday. So I'm doing it differently. We don't like to be pinned down. We're like a rat in a coffee can.
I love that because like I always say like what I love about food is like you're eating someone's art. Like you are literally consuming this thought process someone put together. And like I just like, I go on the road and I always try my best to like go to a different place. Like when I go to Toronto, you guys are coming from north of Toronto. Like I went to Cafe Manita Cafe, I think it's called. And I was like, oh my God, this is a small lunchtime cafe. And I was like, anyone can do this, but no one can do this. Like, obviously they're doing something that is special to this place that I'm like loving this experience more than any other French fry I'm getting anywhere else, We're
gonna have to go check it out because I also am a fan of French fries.
They have specifically a great fry. I will say that.
And that's the thing about food is you can take the same recipe and the same ingredients, and one person can absolutely make a bollocks of it, and the next person can just make it the most wonderful thing you ever had.
Absolutely. So the book, okay, I got questions for the book. Okay. As far as like you're dating, 3 dates in, because I'm thinking of like different types of people, why they would buy the book. Like if you're a single person and you're like, I'm going to be 3 dates in, we're kind of on to something. I'm at the point where inviting them over and cooking them a meal is a special night, but it's not too much. What's the meal that like you would suggest from the book that would like make them look like a stud or a queen or like, you know, like, wow, look what you did?
We have a whole chapters on first dates, right?
Oh, really?
So there's a whole
You think first date cooking for someone isn't too much? Like I would be like, whoa. Like I don't even know what this is yet. What is your thoughts?
But you got to come out swinging. I mean, you can't be like pouring a bowl of Cheerios and being, hey, baby, what do you think? You know what I mean? Like you're setting yourself up. You got to set a good example here. I think a standard home run is a really well executed carbonara.
Okay. And is there anything that goes with it? So you just make a big bowl of carbonara and you're kind of like sharing it, like.
Okay, I think like
You
maybe,
step in. Here we go.
I'll step in. So, on the
Catherine, you're the wants. I got to know what you think on this.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still want to talk, but you know, you kind of want to be busy eating and you want to impress. You want to make something that can easily be done ahead of time, so you're not too busy in the kitchen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they haven't moved in yet. They're not like doing their own thing.
Right. You want to be conversational like, while it's like getting done.
Right. Like, what about like a really nice charcuterie and some oysters Rockefeller, shrimp cocktail, something along those, like snacking.
I like the snacking. Do chefs look down on a charcuterie as like something that someone would like? I think a charcuterie ordered at a restaurant is like insane. Like I think it's like I can do that at home, and I don't like when people say that, but like I just think like it always seems overpriced and something that I again at home charcuterie I get it. You go to the store, you have a conversation with the meat person, the cheese person, but in a restaurant I'm always like, what are we doing here? It's never enough carbs per meat. They also undercarb you.
Yeah. No, I really agree with you. That's something that you should do at home.
We avoid it at the restaurants too. Yeah. And it takes up too much room. I want to have 2 or 3 appetizers. I don't want to be like, you know,
I mean, cheese service for dessert is a whole different thing.
That is
that's a fancy night.
Anywhere, anytime, any meal. Yeah.
So, okay. So now it's anniversary night. What's the recipe from the book that's like special anniversary night fare?
For Katherine, it's king crab. And it's the funny thing is, the ironic thing about a king crab is that 98% of king crab comes in frozen and cooked. So you basically thaw it and heat it, and you're like, I win. Get some garlic butter cooking, get a bottle of champagne chilled. It's not hard, guys, to impress. And that's your thing. That is
if we're celebrating with family on your anniversary, like we have a whole chapter on what's it called? Meet the Parents.
Explain that.
Well, you know, it's big, you know, bigger portion that is sort of celebratory. So it's a little bit like more decadent, like prime rib, right? Yeah.
Very short ribs, that kind of stuff.
Now I'm taking a little diversion. Short rib has become very popular recently. Why is that? Is it easy to cook? Is it something that you can leave alone in an oven? Is that why? It seems like short rib, because I was at a party and they served short rib and I was like, I feel like there's a reason for this that I don't know.
The 1,000%. So there's a large window of error. Like you can really overcook it and it's still pretty darn good. As long as you don't undercook it. But for a party and a dinner party, it's an absolute perfect meal because it's done hours ahead of time. You could do it a day ahead of time.
Okay.
And then you can actually entertain and sit down and talk, and then you just bring it back up, you reheat it. You get the polenta going, or your butter noodles, or your mash, or whatever you want. It's also versatile. It works with a lot of things.
Well, that's interesting because it's like, you know, you mentioned the king crab. You're like, king crab, like it is the ultimate oversell. You know, that you're doing very little for what, like, whoa, you made king crab, when I wouldn't know that's just a thaw and deliver type of thing. Like, those are really the winners in the dating game. The thing where, like, you can, it's all happening very easily, and someone's like super impressed. So, like, you must have really done a lot, you know, to make this happen.
Yeah.
Most cooks and most chefs, and when we cook at home, we're actually quite lazy. You know, we put all the energy and effort into work because that's a professional environment, and we're there for so many hours. But at home, we want to get the job done as quick and as fast as possible.
Right.
And we have to do our own dishes at home, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah, right.
That's listen, this is exactly how I would think in the same scenario. We are sponsored. Indochino, no matter what the year brings, look your best with Indochino. Perfectly fitted to you at an unbeatable price. With Indochino, you can customize every detail. Pick your lapel shape, lining, buttons, and more. Plus, the fabric is sourced from the best mills in the world at a fraction of what other companies would charge. Here's what I love about Indochino. Made to order. When it is tailored to your body, that is going to look better. You're going to feel better. And when you feel better in your clothes, you're more confident. You're more excited to go out. And this time of year, you know, my clothes are fitting a little tighter. I'm like, you know what? I wish I had a jacket and a suit or a pants or a nice shirt that I could count on. And that's what Indochino is going to give to you. If you want a premium in-person experience, book an appointment at one of their showrooms and let an Indochino guide walk you through the steps. If you're more of a do-it-yourself type person, set up a measurement profile on their website, choose your customizations from the comfort of your couch. So I just think this is a great opportunity. If you have like a winter wedding to go to, what a great thing to do. If you have a gift to give, birthday, all those things, anniversaries, this is really a fun thing to do with your partner. For all your 2025 plans, look your best in Indochino. Visit Indochino.com. Use code JTrain to get 20% off any purchase of $4.99 or more. You're going to spend that. That's a suit. 20% off of any purchase of $4.99 or more. That's 20% off at INDOCHINO.com, promo code JTrain. We are sponsored Hero Bread. So you've made some New Year's resolutions to lose a few pounds, but you still want to eat bread. Hero Bread has you covered. Hero Bread tastes amazing, but has ultra low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and is high in fiber. You can't ask for a better way to meet your goals and have delicious meals at the same time. It's that soft, fluffy experience you expect with no compromises. Here's the thing. If I gave you the choice between 2 slices of bread, and one has high fiber and low in sugar and low in net carbs, and the other one has all that stuff in it, you're going to take the better option. You're going to take the Hero Bread option. And this is about having your cake and eating it too, so to speak. This is about saying, I'm trying to be healthy, but I want the feeling and the taste of a sandwich. I want to put meat between bread. And that's what Hero Bread allows you to do. You do it more efficiently. Check out their sliced bread loaves, tortillas, bagels, and dinner rolls. And keep an eye on their website, monthly small batch drops of favorites like their 4 net carb bagels. I have it all in my freezer. I think it's delicious. I have it with breakfast. It is so good, and you're just going to be happy to be eating bread. Like, why would you want to eliminate something that you love? Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co. Use code JTrain at checkout. That's JTrain at HERO.co. It is delicious. You're going to love it. Okay, now another thing you have in the book, what you would make for them in the morning after they've slept over. Now, this is like a big moment. Like, the problem I have with this is the action is like as a commitment phobe myself, okay? Cooking breakfast in the morning, like if I'm having fun with the person, I'm like, let's keep it going. Let's keep the party going. But that might be taken a certain way. Like, whoa, and he cooked for me in the morning. This guy's obsessed. Is there a meal to make in the morning that's like chill? Or are they all just like, is it all just saying something?
It's all chill if you ask me. Like, it's all quite simple to execute.
Spoken like a true dude. Okay.
Right? but I do think coffee is very important.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could start with that with your commitment issues. Coffee
Sure.
would be a nice start,
Coffee in the morning.
right?
Like, I can do a coffee.
And so, you know, in my wedding vows, I promised to make Katherine coffee every day. And if we go to Vegas, I get her to bed early and I go downstairs and get her a coffee or wherever we might be in the world. And that's kind of my commitment. And so we have the thing in the book of her special maple syrup with cinnamon and vanilla kind of like little sweetener. And I make her gourmet coffee every morning. And that's kind of carried on, and we've still kept our tradition alive year after year.
The first sleepover we had,
this is a good one.
I actually got a cappuccino with 24 karat gold. What do you call it? Leaf.
Gold leaf.
Gold leaf.
Wait, come on.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Randy, how many restaurants do you own? What's going on? You're going through a divorce? You could afford gold leafs?
Well, I had some lying around. You know, I don't know why. I think it's from a catering or something. I was like, I'm not gonna waste this crap on myself. I'm gonna impress this girl.
Right. It'd be weirder for me to have it lying around. I think a chef is like, oh, I had these gold leaves. I was doing a party. Like, I don't know how.
Some might say weird. Women might be like, that's extravagant. That is amazing.
Right.
This guy's a keeper.
He knows how to live. So
Yeah.
when you make her, Katherine, a coffee, like, so you're not doing K-cups. It's not a Keurig situation.
No.
What's your suggestion for coffee? How do you have a special machine? Is there like what's like a special coffee to make for someone? Is there
so
something
we have
that you can
an espresso
purchase?
machine, and it's fully automatic, so it grinds and then it makes the short or long, whatever you want. And Katherine lately has been on almond milk and coconut milk, and then she likes it iced, so over ice, double shot long, and then 2 pumps of her vanilla cinnamon maple syrup.
You know the order, which is fantastic. It's a love language.
Once in a while, you'll switch to hot. It's been
Nice.
rare lately, yeah.
But that kind of shows me like something like that is fairly simple, but like, again, to go back to like this undersell, over deliver, like the king crab thought out, you have an extravagant meal. You know, the short rib, you can make it a day before. The coffee, you're saying, get an espresso machine. Like, you want to be like a stud. You want to like have a woman over, get an espresso machine, get some like milk that doesn't come from a cow, have some ice cubes.
No, okay. So I had to do a brief non-dairy thing because I'm breastfeeding. So anyways, I'm not an almond milk girl.
Okay.
But, I've had to do some...
I still don't mind the cow milk.
I love cow's milk.
Even so, just to have the choice, like just to have, like if you have a little, like if you had like just a little tiny like row of like all the different milks, I mean, like...
Could you imagine, like you're like the girls are going to go back and they're going to be like telling all their girlfriends. They'll be Instagramming their girlfriends before they leave the house. He gave me a selection. He asked almond, oat, regular whole milk. If
a bachelor had almond or regular milk, just that option alone, you'd be like, wow, this guy, I mean, there are men out there with no headboards. Like, there's just a mattress on a floor in their 30s.
And honestly, if he had a Keurig machine, that is giving me the ick. Like,
you're saying that to me. I'm sitting 10 feet from my Keurig. I haven't used it in a while.
Sorry.
I'm sitting. I love K-cups because I love the flavored coffee.
Some almond milk.
That's the difference between your kitchen from a Nora Ephron movie and my kitchen, from Saw 10, okay. So now I wanted to ask, what do you make for breakfast? What are you cooking for someone for breakfast? How are you doing it? Katherine, what are you asking for? What are you making? Randy,
like, in the beginning, we were too busy having fun and talking and stuff. So there was no big, huge production. Like, he's not making me eggs Benedict, because it just consumes too much of his attention and time. So the perfect breakfast that he made me was Greek yogurt, homemade granola, blueberries, like Ontario blueberries, the maple syrup that his dad made from the trees that his dad tapped, black pepper and fresh mint, and it's the best.
Black pepper?
I'm glad you picked up on that one.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Yeah. The black pepper is a total like dark horse. Like people think that's weird. Why is that in there? But the moment you take a bite with the blueberry, the yogurt, the maple, it just works. It's like whoa, what's that about?
So good.
Is that in the book as well?
That is in the book, yeah, because that was the signature breakfast. We just kind of pumped that out.
I mean, if I was to I do a podcast about dating, and it's like advice, like what's the advice? And like, I am not an expert in dating. I'm sitting here in my 400 square foot apartment looking at a mattress on the floor. Like, I'm obviously an idiot. But what I take away from this is like how much you valued, Katherine, how much you valued the fact that Randy had these things at his disposal. Like the idea that you had homemade, what's it called? Granola. Like who even has a homemade granola? Like you had, you had Greek yogurt.
Farmer's market, it would be equally good.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying like these are all things that a guy, if you're out there looking to impress someone or looking to look like a catch, like having those things in the fridge, in the cabinet, like the breakfast is kind of like secondary to like you just gave all the ingredients, like you remembered them. Like that's wild.
Yeah, I think that the moral of the book and the story and kind of Katherine wants is we just take every day and try to make it a little bit special, whether it's a crack of black pepper on your blueberries and yogurt, or if it's a little bit of like vanilla maple syrup in your coffee. But we don't like to waste our hunger and our thirst. You know what I mean? Like everything kind of has to have a little bit of a jam to it. And that being said, we love expensive food. Like we just had a $60 wheel of brie for lunch, and I mean it was delicious. But we're also not above
on a Wednesday. You guys are living well. This is crazy.
Like,
Randy, what do you own? Capitol Grill? What's going on?
It's unbelievable.
Oh my God. This is actually just the two of us.
It's a Mondor.
What? Wait, stop it. You're doing this on a Wednesday? Do you guys work? What's going on?
This is work, right?
This is crazy.
If
you're watching on YouTube, Katherine just pulled up what looked like a Martha Stewart home, cover.
But
they have a glass of wine. You guys are having wine? Is this how you live?
This is sometimes how we live, but we also do the opposite side of that. Like, we'll make a date. I hate going to, like, Costco. I despise it. But I love Katherine, and she likes going, so I have to go. So then we, like, have this little back and forth. I'm like, can we get hot dogs? And so that's what we do. And we go and get hot dogs. We finish eating our $60 wheel of brie, and then we, like, go buy some, I don't know what the hell we buy there, nuts by the truckload to make homemade granola, and then I have a hot dog. And that's
I love it. I just can't believe I'm like I'm such like a bad food. I'm so screwed up with food. I'm like, the day of the week matters to me. Like brie on a Wednesday, I'm like in the afternoon, I'm like, are you guys gonna just sit in the toilet for the rest of the week? Like this is crazy. Okay, well, listen. So I have more questions. There's also cocktails in the book.
Oh yeah, we like cocktails.
So
you like cocktails?
I'm a drinker, and I like a martini. I've started moving a little towards gin straight up martinis, gin with a twist. I'm starting to like those a little bit more. My theory on martinis. Also, martinis in the dating world have become a thing.
Yes.
Every dating app profile, if a woman, a lot of women, men too. I'm not to gender it, I would say, but I'm seeing the male side of things. A lot of women take a lot of pride in the fact that they like a martini. Like it seems like it's a exchange of a personality type. And then blue cheese olives is like, whoa, I'd never heard of that before. Like it's a lot of people are saying it with a lot of confidence as if it's never been said before. It's going towards basic now.
Those people would be our friends.
Yeah, listen, I am that person. That's why I noticed that person. How would you guys take a martini? How would you order it? Is a martini worth having at the home?
I'll tell you Katherine's order. Because this is always the way we go, and we're like, we want to. We do vodka, although we're not afraid of gin, but we like vodka martini.
I'm a vodka martini guy, but I've been trying,
Right? Katherine likes hers extra dirty. If there's blue cheese, olives, she'll have those. I just like mine a little bit dirty. I always tell the waitress I'm not nearly as dirty, and that's my little dad joke, and she likes it, and then that's what we do. And that's a great finishing move to a date or a great starter.
So making a martini at home? Would you suggest it? Is it kind of not worth it? What would be like a home drink that's like the one that you would be like, this is, because I keep thinking, when I was thinking about this and I saw that you do cocktails in the book and I saw pictures of the cocktails, they look amazing. They look like art pieces. But I kept thinking, like, if I brought someone home, there's that moment where it's that awkward moment of like, let's have a drink at my place. Like, that would be like the appropriate classy move. Hey, let me pour you a drink. What's good to have in the home as far as like that like, we just had a nice night. We're going home because we're both two adults who are into each other. I want to offer them a drink. What would be that fun thing to have waiting at home that's a good pour?
So in the book, there's that peach Bellini. And there's a bit of work that goes into it, like with all cooks, we have our mise en place, but we have the frozen peach and cherry mixture in the freezer. We just give it a quick forking and kind of make it like the slushy. And then you pour some champagne over that. That's an end of night. That's like, look at that.
Right.
What's up, Buttercup?
If
Katherine, you just came out of left field with that. I was like thinking more like have an impressive bottle, like just have an impressive bottle at home that's really easy to get to, like a nice bottle of red or like offer an Amaro. Oh, I love Amaro.
What's an Amaro? Can you explain that to the people?
It's an Italian digestive. It's like a bitter. It's a bitter liqueur. But it is so good.
Do you have it over ice? Do you take it?
It's pretty trendy right now, but I mean, it's very standard to enjoy one of those after a meal in Italy, and we enjoyed one or two or three after every meal.
It's kind of like the Italian version of Jägermeister, but it tastes good.
Okay, so it's a little bit like black licorice, so to speak.
No, you get the wrong impression when you say
it's not digestive.
Yeah.
Well, do you put it over ice? Does it, do you have it?
Yeah, I like it straight up, but you can have it over ice.
Sipper.
It's a sipper. It's something similar to, you could compare it to like Grand Marnier, Drambuie.
You know why I like this, but it's a great suggestion. The Bellini's a good idea too, but I love the Amaro because the sipper idea of like, what ends up happening is you and your date have 3 sips and then you're making out.
Yeah,
so the idea of pouring a little tiny bit over a big block of ice, like we're not wasting now. That's a good thing too.
Right.
So I like that. So listen, I want everyone to go buy the book. I love you guys. You guys are so much fun, and I want people to go buy it. It's called Katherine Wants, Randy Cooks, the ultimate date night cookbook. And in the description of this episode, you can hit the link. It'll take you straight to Amazon. You can buy the book right away. So, guys, thank you so much for coming on. This was such a fantastic conversation. I'm so happy to have met you. This is our first time meeting, so I'm so pumped. Next time I'm in Toronto, you guys got to come to a show. We got to go get dinner and have Amaro together. We got to get the fries.
We love that.
Amazing. Thanks, guys. We'll be back next week. Boom.